Let me start by addressing the elephant in the room. No, I do not make 24,000 a month in passive income because after I watched Kelvin Learns Investing video on 24,000 per month passive income, but if you really look into the content, there is a big difference in how I really define passive income because I know that's the buzzword like ever since I started YouTube. Now, passive income to me is not going to come from your day job, your active income, or content creation. That is what I actively do every workday. And it's not going to come from a side hustle because side hustle, even though it's not from your main job, maybe even if you're a corporate employee, you do some side business that's considered side hustle, I do not consider those passive income. But how will I really define passive income is that something that can be built once and then it can earn forever. And that income is kind of recurring, even though you may need a little effort to maintain it. So that's how I largely define passive income. Okay, it's not going to come from content creation or side hustle stuff. Okay, so that is the main difference between how I define passive income. And if you're new here, my name is Chris, an ex-chartered accountant. Now I do YouTube videos for a living. And that is my main job as a content creator. Just to share a bit of the active income side, my AdSense is probably around only 1,000 to 2,000 per month. So really, even if you are looking at YouTube ads, it is not a main source of income for me. It's more like to help support the basic expenses to cover the video production. And another part of active income that I will consider it is affiliate. Even though a lot of people define affiliate income as passive, you just do the video one time, it can keep giving you earnings on the passive income source. I really don't think that affiliate income is considered passive income. Why? Because you need that content to be fresh and you need to refresh it. Any terms and conditions change, any new promotions coming in, you will need to update with a new post. And anytime that you stop making a new post to push that offer, to promote that offer, then you will not get that recurring affiliate income. Now, affiliate income for my channel could range from $5,000 per month up to a record of $20,000 per month. And I understand that this is a very wide range, and this is quite normal for business owners because some months you really eat grass, okay? There's no content, there's no engagement, there is no virality to really reach more people and people sign up for conversions. That's it, man. And including sometimes when I ask you all to click on the interactive broker's link or scan the IBKR QR code, that is a form of affiliate earning because I earn on a cost per click agreement, which means that you can click at no cost and then IBKR will pay something to my business lah. I consider that as affiliate and I don't consider that passive because I need to put active work as content out there. So that's a little bit different. So I do have some side hustles aside from my content creation job. I do side hustle as a corporate speaker and trainer. And to explain fully about this side hustle, it's more like I do speaking for a living. So I deliver keynote speeches, like I need to go on stage to talk to people or to deliver corporate training to employees or some of these professionals, companies will engage me. But for the past 12 months, I only made less than $10,000. So if your company or your event or whatever training program or seminar that you need help for public speaking from a personal finance level and you want to engage me, we can talk. All right. So just email me on my business email address. But that is just a side hustle to me, something that I want to venture outside of YouTube and content creation. It's not really the main part of the business, but I really like doing that because it trains on my public speaking skills. Now, the other active income that I have is options. Even though I don't really cover a lot of options content, but on and off, I don't really do it for a recurring income. It's more like a strategy to exit my existing individual stock position because I'm moving away from individual stocks and I want to liquidate them through covered call options. And my eventual goal is to not hold any individual stocks. So once I reach that stage, I will not do any option strategy anymore. But options, I still think that it's not passive income at all. It requires active work. Okay, so all these income sources that I just discussed, they are all active work. They need preparation and time involved, and not just screen time. Because 台上1分钟，台下10年功, which means that even though you're watching this video like a 10 minutes presentation of screen time, I probably spent like 10 months to rehearse and get all this information to deliver in this manner that can engage with the audience. So that's the amount of preparation work I need. And I don't consider this as passive. All these are active work. Now, some people, they consider this kind of money income sources as passive income, as long as they are not sitting behind a corporate desk, typing behind on their keyboards, looking at monitor screens, going for meetings just like a corporate employee for 8 hours, doesn't really make it passive. okay? Just because you don't sit behind like a desk or you don't face clients and you earn money, those are not considered passive income, but it's more like non-traditional work income, okay? So for some self-employed people, you all have your own hustles. Please don't think that they are passive, because every kind of passive income involves a lot of hard work and preparation. Either a huge commitment in time, like you need a lot of time to build an asset, to build a resource, to build a content, or you need financial capital to build the investment portfolio large enough such that it can pay you a form of passive income. So when we talk about capital, there are two forms of capital. Number one is financial capital, which many of you are familiar about, whether it's your investment portfolio on equities, bonds, fixed income, cash, or whatnot. Your bank savings account is also considered financial capital, where they pay you interest income. The other one is called human capital, where you can sell your knowledge, your branding, your intellectual property, and you think of a way to monetize it such that without you putting in the work itself, it can still generate you a form of recurring income. That's how you monetize your human capital. And know that personally, I have not included any form of CPF interest, even though it is quite passive as well, and I have quite a sizable CPF portfolio, but it's not naturally liquid, even for my special account. Until I have reached the age of 55, then I can withdraw the amounts above the full retirement sum in my special account, and then by the time it's called retirement account. So for my viewers who have watched my channel for many years already, my final passive income record was in July 2024. Around 2 years from now, that was my last passive income record on Instagram. Because after that, I moved my cash positions to fully invest in the stock market for total returns instead of focusing on cash solutions. And back then at the peak, it was making me around $3,200 per month in passive income on a 12 months average. To be exact, based on my statistics in 2024, the 12 months average was 3,285 Singapore dollars. This is enough for my family of 2 with no kids as a household expense living in a HDB flat. So even back in 2024, I could say for myself that I'm financially free, can fire already, right? Because I already covered my household expense with $3,200, right? Passive income. But I'll share more about this mindset for later, okay? We discuss other things first. Now let's look at, in the current point in time, my actual passive income for the past 12 months, okay? Firstly, let's talk about my coffee shop, where I put up my PDF cheat sheets where you can download for free, okay? Even though I say download for free, but some of you really very kind, very generous. You all pay a little token sum to tip me lah. So thank you to those who have tipped. But it's really a very modest amount. Over the past 12 months, I only made around $200 from my coffee shop PDF cheat sheets. But average out is only $17 per month. And because I started putting in more effort to this in 2026, it started to scale up more. And it's really considered quite passive because I really built once and I sell forever, even though it is free. But in my future content, whenever I talk about the same kind of topic, I could just plug in this coffee PDF cheat sheet and more people will download again. And hopefully, yeah, I can get more IBKR clicks or, tips as well. But to be clear, I really don't need to pay any money lah. I just appreciate anyone who just click the link good enough already. Okay, the next one is called bank and fixed income assets interest. And for this one, quite a sizable amount already. It's $8,552. And if we divide that by 12 months, it is $712 per month. So where did I get all this passive income from? Number one is HSBC Everyday Global Account, where I talked about it previously before the nerf. Okay, they have this bonus interest campaign kind of stuff, and every month, yeah, you just ding dong and then you get some bonus interest. Number two is DBS Multiplier, which I ventured into this year after HSBC Everyday Global Account nerf. Okay, you can get up to 4.1% if you fulfill the transaction value every month, which is quite good, right? 4.1%. Number three is POSB Cashback Bonus, where it doesn't require you to have a form of capital or assets under management, just need to fulfill the cashback requirements. So because I have 2 accounts, myself and my wife, one of it is under DBS Multiplier, the other one is under POSB Cashback Bonus. Yeah, so I consider that as 2 accounts. And the next one is from Standard Chartered Bonus Saver, because I talked about this account a lot already since I don't know how many years ago. But recently they also cut the bonus interest, so I already left that account, Standard Chartered Bonus Saver. Quite a good account, but no more. The other one is Lion Global Short Duration Bond Fund. This is an investment product, so I want to be very careful with what I say. Like in last year, I put quite a sizable amount into this investment, and the net asset value had some capital gains. So when I sold off that portfolio And I will record the monthly gain in the net asset value as a form of passive income because it grew in value, but now I don't hold any short duration bond fund with Lion Global anymore. And my most recent passive income is going to come from IG Markets, which they offer a 3% per annum interest on the first 50,000 Singapore dollars of shareholdings. Of course, you must fulfill the terms and conditions like making one buy trade every month. So I think on $50,000, you make around $120 plus per month based on a 30-day holding period. And finally, on another category are dividends, which some of you invest in stocks for dividends. And I only got $1,346 and all from US stocks after their dividend withholding tax of 30% applied to Singapore investors. So $1,346 divided by 12 works out to be around $112 per month, which is not bad, but nothing spectacular enough to pay some fixed bills. Okay, so those are more of the financial capital passive income sources. Now I'm going to talk more about the human capital one. And that is for content creators sense loading fees and whitelisting, where brands pay to use my face or videos for their boosted ads for their promotion of the product. And yes, I know I say that content creation is active income, but really loading fees and whitelisting is really as passive as it gets really, because the banks are renting your face, renting your value, renting your IP so that it can build authority for their product or their brand. And for the past 12 months, I've been paid $6,000, which is around $500 per month based on whatever campaigns that they have. So to be clear, this is not about sponsorship income or affiliate income already. It's like you create the content that is active income, but if they want to pay you, especially to extend the loading fee or the boosting period, the whitelisting fee, that is passive already what? Because you only build that once and it can extend your contract for retainer forever until they wish. Yeah, so that's around $500 per month, which I find it not bad, quite good, right? So total passive income over 12 months, we add everything up. So $200 from my coffee shop, $8,552 from my financial capital assets, $1,346 of dividends from my US stocks, and $6,000 from loading fees and whitelisting fees. Total up to 16,098 Singapore dollars. And if we divide that by 12, that is $1,341 per month. And yes, even though the annual passive income is like 5 figures, $16,000, but you look at the monthly figure, it's only a low $1,000. And yeah, some of you will comment, so little only, so pathetic. That's it, right? For a financial influencer, your passive income is laughable. But let me be very clear, I am not investing for income at the current stage. Because remember, when I said that at my peak in July 2024, when I was investing for cash flow and all the income stuff, I was making around $3,200 per month in passive income back then already. And if I do a linear progression from 2024 to now 2026, it should hit around 5,000 Singapore dollars per month in 2026 if I continue that passive income strategy. And I think $5,000 is quite nice, right? Like it could overtake your day job even in passive income. So why did I not continue to focus on my passive income journey, despite it looking much nicer and easier to sell as a piece of content? And the main reason is because I'm still earning active income from my content business and other stuff. And hence, I really do not need that additional cash flow, because the cash flow received will just be reinvested anyway, right? So whatever dividend, income, cash flow, interest that I receive, I'll just put it back and invest into the stock market. So it's just repeat work. So what's the point of trying to manufacture $5,000 per month passive income? Just so that I can reinvest back the $5,000 back to the stock market. It's a left pocket in, right pocket out. And there's admin work behind it. And I know it's very nice to say that you earn $5,000 per month passive income. But let's take a look at total return versus passive income. And that's where I bring in my previous video where many of you already watched that I've lost more than 100,000 Singapore dollars, but that's just in the title and the thumbnail. So for those of you who have clicked in and watched, you would have realized that in capital gains alone, I made more than $210,000 from January to June 2026. And that's roughly around $35,000 per month in average capital gains. So if you really want to compare, at my current passive income, $16,000 per year, which is $1,300 per month, but my capital gains is $210,000 in 6 months. And I need to be very clear, obviously it's not guaranteed, it's unrealized profits and markets can go up and down. There's a lot of volatility, but this is what has mattered much more to my wealth accumulation. You compare 1.3K versus 35K, the difference is so big. So especially for Singapore investors, a lot of us, they optimize the portfolio to generate more dividends, to generate more yield, to generate higher passive income. but they sacrifice total return, then what is the point? But hey, don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm saying dividends are bad. Okay, there's an important nuance behind this. I'm not saying dividends are bad. I'm saying that yield itself, dividend yield itself, does not equal to total return. Total return would involve a dividend yield plus capital gains plus any FX gain or loss. A portfolio generating 5% dividends does not automatically mean it is better than the one generating just 2% income. You also need to look at capital appreciation, whether there are any dividend income, what are the fees involved, what are the taxes involved, what is the risk that comes with this form of portfolio, and overall, that will come up to a total return. So if I bring it back to my earlier video on that losing $100,000, it's not as simple as I want passive income and therefore I buy high yield assets, because yield is only one part of the equation. And if you look at my actual passive income over the past 12 months, $16,098 averaged out to be $1,341 per month. I know some of you would laugh at it, some of you would have even higher passive income than me. But to be honest, I'm actually pretty okay with it. In fact, I'm quite satisfied with it, because at this stage, I'm not trying to win the passive income scoreboard, even though I know passive income content is very easy to sell. Like, I just put how much passive income I earn this title. I could earn a lot of clicks and views already. But really, I want to grow the asset base. I want to grow the asset under management. The most important power driver in your investment portfolio is the asset base. Your AUM should be large enough such that in the future, when you want to draw down your portfolio or your capital, you don't really need to look too hard into the yield. You can just do a safe withdrawal rate of 4% or even lower at 3% if you want to be more secure. And ultimately, what is the goal of passive income is that you don't need to work for money anymore. And if your base is large, that means that you can have a bigger withdrawal or a larger passive income. So it's more important to build that asset base rather than just looking at the yield. So this video is not really to flex how much passive income I have. In fact, it is so little that I don't even want to do a video on. But some of you who are curious of how a financial content creator do for passive income, this is it, right? I've reviewed my numbers, even my active income. Hopefully, for those of you who are yield chasing, dividend chasing, and income chasing for cash flow, you all would rethink your strategy, whether it fits your current age, your current risk appetite, and how you want to manage your investment portfolio. Don't just keep chasing for cash flow, all right? Have a total return mindset. That's more important. And if you haven't watched my earlier video where I lost more than 100,000 Singapore dollars and I want to document that process, then you can watch it in the previous video right here.